Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Not Another Teacher Podcast. I'm your host, Martin Malone, aka The Teacher's PT. And yeah, today we are going to be focusing still on routine, still on habits and structures with it. But I want to focus on breakfast because I know so many teachers struggle with breakfast. Why? You're in a bit of a rush. You skip it. And it just ends up spiraling the whole day. So we're going to look at breakfast so we can think about what you can have, how's the best way to structure it, and ultimately get you to a place where you are just going to be thriving with it. So yeah, breakfast. Now, an important thing to understand is you always hear the quote, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's not. Like all the studies they did and everything like that, they were a biased study to say the least. And I don't think a lot of people know, but even though they were scientific studies, Kellogg's were the people that actually backed the study. So Kellogg's did a scientific study which decided that out of every meal during the day, breakfast was it. Like, make of that what you will. But I think one thing that is important to recognize when it comes to any meals is if we aren't eating at the right times, and I'm not saying there is a correct time to eat, but everyone with their own biological clock, like with their own internal systems, has times when they're generally hungrier than others. And say you are always hungry at 9:30 in the morning and your break is until 10:30 or 11. Well, even if you're not hungry at 7:30, 8 in the morning, you actually need to eat then so that at 9:30 you're not starving. Because if you start getting hungry at 9:30 and you're starving, come 10:30 or 11, you're going to be like ravenous then. And you are going to wolf down everything in sight just to make yourself feel a bit human again. That means you're going to run in the staff room, you're going to see that slice of cake or those cupcakes or the chocolate or whatever is there and wolf down a couple of slices before you've even thought whether you're full yet. That's going to send you into a spiral for the day. So when you are thinking about, you don't have to eat breakfast in the morning, but you do have to think about when you are hungry and when is the best time to eat before then. If you get hungry at 9:30, you need to eat before school starts, even if you're not hungry, so you don't get ridiculously hungry by first break. If you only ever get hungry at 11:30, then eating a break is perfectly fine for you to start the day. If you don't get hungry till 1 p.m., then eating at lunchtime is perfectly fine. There's no right and wrong there, but each of you will know the right time for you. And if you are struggling with it, if you're not too sure, drop me a DM on Instagram at the Teacher's PT. I'll be happy to go backwards and forwards with you so that you've got a bit more of an idea about the structure that's going to be right for you personally. But yeah, that's the big one with structure. Make sure that you are always eating before you get hungry, especially that first one in the morning. Now, when it comes to breakfast itself, I like to have a couple of rules around breakfast to make my days easier. You see, to me, it doesn't matter how many meals you have. It doesn't matter when you eat, but there's going to be ones for you. I really like having big meals with very little snacking during the day. So I will often have a big breakfast, I'll have a good lunch, and then I will have a really big tea. And this just keeps me full because I like the feeling of being full, and eating a skinny whip bar at 10:30 just doesn't cut it for me. I'd rather take the calories of that skinny whip bar, that extra 100 calories, and put it in my breakfast for 2 extra eggs, or add it to my lunch for an extra 100 grams of potato. That is going to fill me more. So I like big breakfasts. But one thing I do really like to do as well is I like to enjoy my tea at night. And we're going to talk about that a bit more later on in the week. But because I like to enjoy my tea at night, I don't want to be stressing about how much protein I've got to eat during it. So what I always like to do is make sure in my lunch and in my breakfast, I have a real decent amount of protein. I'm talking 30 to 40 grams of protein. And studies actually show that most people, like struggle to get protein in the morning. Why? You're having like a cereal with some milk, or you're having a piece of toast or a croissant, and there's nothing wrong with any of that food, but it's very carb heavy, it's less protein heavy. And again, we spoke about carbs, protein, and everything like that in the podcast before. Go check them out. I'm not demonizing any of it. There is no right and wrong things to eat, but we do know that we need to get a certain amount of protein in a day. So by having 30 to 40 grams in the morning, if you are doing even 30 grams in the morning for breakfast, 30 grams for lunch, and 40 grams for your tea at night, which is generally a lot of easier one to get in, that's 100 grams of protein without even trying. So I always like to do that. Perfect ways to get protein in the morning. The first one for me is porridge with a scoop of protein powder in. Like from the oats in the porridge and the milk, you're going to probably get about 10 grams of protein. You put a protein powder scoop in, generally a flavored one of your favorite flavor. I just like the vanilla, or maybe sometimes the chocolate. Mix that in, and that is going to give you another 30 grams of protein. So on that, you're going to get 40 grams of protein. Another one, which is a personal favorite of mine at the moment, is not putting that protein scoop in though. Instead, getting the porridge, making that just normal, and then adding in a protein mousse. You know, the ones from Aldi, the really nice ones at the minute. You mix that in and it makes the oats really creamy, really nice. You have a breakfast which is about 400 to 500 calories tops, and you get from it about 30 to 35 grams of protein. It's absolutely game changing. Now, other ways you can get protein in the morning is through eggs. I absolutely love eggs in the morning because they really keep you full. They really kind of give you the decent amount of protein, and they give you that energy that you need. So I love either making an omelette because it's super fast to make, or boiling eggs the night before and having them to eat. Generally, 2 eggs are about 170 calories and about 140 calories and about 14 grams of protein. So 4 eggs in the morning is going to give you about 30 grams of protein for about 300 calories, a perfect one. Then add some salad with it, add some vegetables. Like if you're making an omelette, add a bit of ham in to get that extra protein in, or a bit of cheese. Then add the veg in. I love having the frozen peppers and onions just ready to go to grab a handful to stick in an omelette. It's going to keep you full. It's going to keep you feeling good. And you are just going to feel good all day then, because not only have you ate something, but as well, you have also got like 30, 40 grams of protein like ticked off at the beginning of the day. It makes it so much easier. Now, there are more options than them, but they are the 2 that I love to have. I'd love to see some of yours if you have different breakfasts which are high protein that really help you. But I always think when you're teaching during the week, keep it simple, keep it quick to make it the night before. They are the best ways. Hopefully this has helped and you've got a bit more of an idea about what you can do for your breakfasts. And yeah, listen tomorrow when we tackle our lunches.